What's up guys, I'm Shane and this is Spare Change. If it's your first time here, we discuss all things audio and video, new movies, new AV equipment. So if you're not subscribed, then tap the subscribe button for new weekly videos. Today for a review, we've got Rogue One, a Star Wars story on Disney Plus 4K streaming. I'm not here to review the movie, I'm just going to share with you my thoughts on the video and the audio quality. Now for a few tech specs. The movie was shot in 6.5K. It's got a 4K DI, runtime is 133 minutes. Aspect ratio is 239:1, so there are going to be black letterbox bars. This is a good looking Star Wars movie. It's clean, sharp, it's got tons of detail. Close-ups had all the good stuff. Wrinkles, pores, facial hair were all rendered cleanly. Textures throughout the Star Wars world was captured just as good. The backgrounds had that old gritty appearance, and all the technology from weapons to spacecraft had a very war-torn feel. Everything just had a tangibility to it. So unlike the prequel movies, which had tons of DNR leading to finer details being lost, Rogue One was the opposite. Now, I'm not saying the image here is amazing 4K quality or even 4K crispy, because the movie is a bit soft, but comparing it to the other Star Wars movies, this one definitely has the most detail. As for HDR in either Dolby Vision or HDR10, like the other movies in the series, there's not a lot of color here. The palette is mostly grays and blacks, and a lot of earth-tony colors, so you won't be blown away by crazy HDR vividness. The wider color spectrum does, however, bring forward better shadow detail and smoother gradations, which is welcome since this is a pretty dark movie. During the last third of the movie, we do get some great looking colors when the action takes place on the beach. Comparing it to the 1080p version, the blue skies and the water are deeper and richer, and the sand has cleaner tonal gradations. Spectral highlights can be eye-popping when we get some laser fire, and the biggest moment is when the Death Star blows up Scarif. You will be blinded at this part. Audio is in Dolby Atmos, and I thought it sounded decent. Unfortunately, I did have to bump up the volume about 6 dB more than the other movies. It wasn't as bad as The Last Jedi, but it's kinda close. Height channel activity I thought was light, but they did come to life during the battle on Scarif. Fighters can be heard flying overhead, raining down laser fire on the beach. And there are some other small effects here and there, with maybe the rain coming from above in the Battle of Edu. Other than that, I found some light ambiance and some musical extension coming from the high channels. Lower channel activity was the most active with smooth panning during heavy action scenes. Bass response is going to be lifeless until you start turning up the volume, but once you do, there is enough low-end rumble to start shaking your room. Soundstage was decent, but could have been more transparent. I feel it was somewhat compressed sounding once the volume started going up. Dialogue was fine for the most part, but like I mentioned, it can be harsh at times when characters are talking during big action scenes. So for audio, I'm going to go with a 7.8. I thought this would be the best sounding movie of the series, but it was hampered by low volume and light height channel activity. It's still an enjoyable mix, but I was expecting a lot more. For video, I'm gonna go with an 8.8. I think this is the best looking of all the Star Wars films. It's got great detail and it's clean and sharp. I do feel there might be a small amount of DNR since certain parts of the image do look unusually smooth at times. I do remember this looking grittier at the theaters and not quite this clean, and even though this was shot digitally, it isn't going to be a 4K crispy experience. I'd say it's a notch or two away from being crisp. Still, I do think it's the best looking of the bunch and definitely better looking than the regular Blu-ray. Is it as good as the 3D Blu-ray? Nah, the final act of this movie in 3D is just one of the best. So that wraps it up. We've reviewed the original trilogy as well as the prequel trilogy. If you missed them, I'll leave a link at the end of this video. I thought it was a pleasant surprise they actually dropped all these in 4K with new Dolby Atmos mixes. Fortunately or unfortunately, you will have to get a subscription to Disney Plus to enjoy them, at least for now. If you're a big Star Wars fan, I think you should at least try out the 30-day free trial to check out these new 4K transfers. Maybe you like them, maybe you don't. Let us know in the comments below. Well anyways, thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, then give it a like. You can follow us on social media, and if you want to get exclusive content or just have some questions, then stop by our Patreon page. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys again in the next one.